Mr. Lynch lives. Oh, right. Never. Good morning, Miss Simply. More simply, 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 more simply. David, yesterday, not David Lynch, this is the last month, I'll say, I showed you the 4 of the 79 years. Not the 4, it means the 9 in the 79 years. Because last month I non giocavo so much for me. Vi siete birthday, right? As the video not the video, it's December 23rd, so the day before the Christmas Eve. So 2025, I saw some video only 8 days to the end of December, so this year 2025. So today it was totally cloudy. Yes, what a cloudy sky. So once again to the cloudy and also with the rain. This moment. Light rain in general is city so also seems it's early afternoon between early and after questa sì it's 14 and 10 yeah for news 6.65 at 17 Celsius. This means it's really cold in these years, but cold it's a classic adjective that you use for the winter period, so sta cosa per le sue cose si fa che c'hanno così che in giugno pass giù 70 non si fa che we io perché fuori adesso the course si vede last pass summer if se perhaps one remember if they follow the English pass summer I think my body also fact that we read overcome also for years the course the autumn now also for the winter we overcome 4 years with the reports 2 days ago to replace we enter the NIT on 4 and 3 p.m. here in Italy. Okay, as perhaps someone who remember think about it, I suppose indeed, I'm sure, try to see it, everything for sim, but associate sometimes my proposal for activation to which years, it's better no perhaps paradox for me, the read this you in collaboration, also for the winter, also for the spring, summer, and the autumn, sense fact for the spring, it was adjective soft, for summer, the adjective hot, for the spring, once for the autumn, once again, adjective soft, so that's in general, season, speech, classic adjective. Sigarette lì, l'attrezzo mio, questo film absolutely incomplete. But no, this period not but because it's cold, but not at all for me because I don't feel, but I feel cold less than the other people. Thanks to a series of practices I do since some years, and in fact I always talk about this thing, in the winter weather reports, but to deepen this metro to know what are these practices, you can see read one of my comment section and the video. Through this practice where I try to show the status should fight the cold, or I don't know if it's appear, I think or not if it's cold, because they feel cold, finally I think of yes, I don't know, this depends on them, and if in general 90% I think they feel cold, however in general for me also good, still, but scat also to enjoy absolutely, I can say this meeting is just for this. It's really bad, artistissimo, so I can be free as much things on this end. In the afternoon, I think at temperature is this repeated just for 6.6 Fahrenheit 17 Celsius. At important thing questa atmosfera, te ci vedi. Se fuori due vedissimo. iniziato a Roma, proprio questi curtini, e quando si curtini c'era, se uno si mi ripensa, intanto mi scende sia il most perfect, questa suppose, fa che sono da ripetere, è totally, what the hell is it, also with the serene, according what I read, considering, according what I read, si sensation, certain, etc., I think it's most sure that it's practically sure that later might become darker and bleaker, later in the afternoon, because early afternoon, in the afternoon might become darker and bleaker, and also that heavier rain. Su questo no, bisogna tenere vigilanza su Wizard, si può se inizia che mi scrivi play, via. Bad, if not tragic. So series from inside medical windows are curtain well SWAT to story mode was insomma as just before and the only difference color of flash fact color the second player su yellow gold color the first one was pink the color of this third curtain it's pink it's really similar. I don't know if you can identify it well in this shot I'm beginning I think yes. Oh, if not even better, actually better when it's a shot fare first part of video to which Perugia I showed you the sky, the atmosphere, the weather, the sky atmosphere in general from the window. But however, as well as the room, so from the medical window, new white curtain with the green flowers, long flowers mixed between the plants, new curtains, last number one, mangarting sauce birthday of the previous, third birthday to be precise, and to deepen on the previous, it was the beautiful grey curtain with the beautiful painted with branches, but to deepen the sing the passage from the previous curtain, to the curtain, to dismitter, seed, one of my comments in the video, it should be the fourth, perhaps at the point of the comment one, or see the comment section. I don't know if you usually see it really better from shot spike as a shot I showed you for them is a window here before because it's also is the first part of the video through which Perugia showed you the weather scatter from the other window, the classical window in the classical room. Oh, if not, on this other practical is the shot similar to the classical shot filmed more than 3 years ago for the grey curtain, and perhaps also for the first curtain in color curtain, even if I don't remember exactly, sure the color curtain is still in coverage condition. One day, so any time I should change it. And this shot also related to the fact both when there is and the color shoot and also when there is, but more when there is, the effect measure. Now I'll see that little special sentence are reduced, also in case for the grey curtain, also in case perhaps also for the first curtain in color curtain, if also in case I don't remember exactly, and also in this case I sorry Marta, I repeat also in this case first time also in this case I use it for the design curtain and this little speech of sentences it is but also always better visible for me in its entirety here in this shot at this point this mythical legendary shot. Regarding the shooter not visible, not visible for 20 seconds last days of last October. And if this is important because the important that also this is not visible. In fact, and also for it I say read the same little special sense that use for the curtain because so for it I repeat once again, but also and always better visible for me in its entirety here in this shot at this point is mirror original shot. And finally, from a medical keyboard and a GX640 PG 625 also in the case of this mirror original shot. Questi sono le people che già questi serviti che dovrebbero essere bene mi sistema. Sono myself, sono scherzo. finally, poi io volevo diretta back. Bates, lì, in genere non sono mai sfacca così, lì, mi fa mai tutto quello importante si fa io, tre ragazzi, sembrano distretti, si sta lì, faccano back, si fiente ne siamo lieti. Per stato video, ad fiente ne parte in verte, fu su est, finché tre ne siamo, sembrano distretti, il suo sarà ciò. Verso di tutto, e tu dici, cosa si carriera, le tue sono nars, e già stono gli obviously, strunicute, 14, Nintendo, Muse. But in particular, the show is remember that in some way also be fortunate with so I'm really happy. And as we always say, e che fa sono mosse obiettivo della sua assolutamente, sono senza benimmen sbatte si scioglie al nostro one yes, ma questo lo scontro nei single che effect reason farebbe a si scioglie mi dai ripete vabbè sono per me su io one time or one day sono in time c'è per se più e se più better presi detto di c'è stato su di single sempre in sala shot so base segno se gioco lo che batto ma sto anima ma ti sami col segno shot per sala biscuit sala my favorite fact that I'm there I'm in visual combos il visual biscuit se si finché torna mezzo not messing our stars chocolate chips cookies o le cookies di chips chocolate chips fatemi seguire questo favorito biscuit sono Mr. Lynch Matti in particolare, I think se le userei dall'Easy Festival, but Milk Factory sono shot, sono linkati di coffee, perché tu senza che gioco, infatti sono andati tra shot fragmenti video, sono shot, e quindi last I think 6 months, they should be maximum 7, there was one as quick as the finish, no, there is, adesso sì che se lo sullo sto punto, sono in venuti per su, this should be done the video, sono in venuti per su, there was one as quick as the finish, now there is one side I think once again I think we're going to 41, 42, 43 days so in case allo sto culo should be stati più persone che faccio in pezzi più so since that moment today I pattern insert it once again the milk oh very good news quindi se also effect di cose breakfast questo bomba se la stipire in particolare me bomba even if so che se la stipire it's a joke because I talk about most money ma siamo so of course I'm lifting to first time so that video and if in some also say toll nei cose breakfast questo me se non ti cosa ma sia per più sia sta ancora e ragazzi per me sarà sempre in position magari ti salette del medio lì e cosa? Ma se avessi preso posizione nella bamba ragazzi questo arriva su babà adesso tutto muore suppose fonte da perché non ti torna tutto lui l'eppen una quasi